Come on, bitch, let's go. Come on, get ready, bitches. You haven't seen nothing yet. Come on.
Valentino, Versace, Lamborghini, Bugatti. I got money to burn. I'm single and I'm naughty.
Come on.
Tiffany's, Cartier, Gucci, Armani.
Come on.
Break out your black card, boys. It's time to party.
So it would seem that Dorit Kemsley has met a new man that she's spending the holidays with at the Hotel Chelsea. And he's super fine from Portugal. But truth is, it's not true. So it turns out that the guy that was in a picture with Dorit Kemsley, his name is Javier Gomez. Now, Javier posted a picture over the holiday with Dorit Kemsley where he said, "With my baby," and it was her and him like close together with a heart, Hotel Chelsea, and everyone was like, oh my God, they must be going out, they must be going out. But see, Javier has actually been good friends with Dorit Kemsley since all the way back in 2018. They used to hang out together quite a bit. And he has many pictures of Dorit Kemsley and him together from like 2018, 2019 while she was with PK. And he also happened to work for PK's branding company, which has the rights to Pele, the soccer player's merchandising, or at least he was coordinating that effort for Pele for a while. And I think during this time, that was something PK was doing. Now, to be clear, PK Kemsley and Dorit got married on March 7th, 2015. And they got married in New York in the Rainbow Room. Now, this guy, Javier Gomez, has loads of pictures with Dorit in 2018 and 2019 in almost the same pose where he's got his arm around her and he's got like a little heart and he says, "A very happy birthday to Dorit Kemsley. Another great year, my love." He always calls her my love, my baby. Keep shining. And you know how Dorit talks, baby. You know, she does that with her friends. She calls like, you know, Kyle baby, kids baby, PK baby, all of them. So it would appear that they do promotions together and Javier has promoted her Beverly Beach stuff. And it looks like might have even done some photography for PK Kemsley for Pele's merch in the past. He's a famous furniture designer that specializes, or I guess should call attention to Portuguese designed stuff. He's very integrated into, it looks like, the Spanish party scene, Marbella, but he's also, you know, big in the Portuguese New York quarter. He was called the sexiest man by People magazine in 2014 and in 2023. So, I mean, he's definitely in with the right group and, you know, and so he's got a lot of facets. But bottom line, I don't think he's Dorit's boyfriend. Because although he's super hot and they obviously are very good friends from the pictures, he's been in her life the entire time she's been married to PK publicly, at least on his page. And, you know, always writing supportive birthday messages, etc., promoting each other's products, talking about fashion. They're both into the same kind of over-the-top couture. And he doesn't go public with many women or men in terms of a boyfriend or girlfriend. So it is very difficult to assess, like, for him, what his personal relationships on his social media feed. But he's done partnerships with Fendi, Mogul, Lampoon, as I said, Pele, Sula, New York City, Maison and Object, Mesquita. So I just think this is an old friend of Dorit's, and she probably wanted to be with him in her time of need because she's probably feeling pretty overwhelmed by dealing with the finances and PK gone for the first holiday and what to do on New Year's without your husband. And if he had the kids, then what is she doing? So it seems like she's gone back to her New York roots, which is where she met PK in the first place, where all of her core friends from Connecticut and the years that she was networking there with PK and without are. So she can actually like get back in the scene again, maybe meet some guys that she doesn't know that are well-to-do, and also try to reinvent other sides of herself now that PK is out of the way. But I don't think this is more than what they've always had, because it's pretty much what they always have posted over the last few years. Now, PK's personality is such that it would not benefit Dorit Kemsley to go public with a guy that she is dating, even though PK has already kind of done that here and there with chicks, okay? Because it could set PK off, and she's trying to keep things stable. And as you're about to find out on the upcoming show this week, their relationship has become very toxic. They talk down to each other, and she's really only, I think, speaking mostly at counseling sessions. So Dorit and PK, quite frankly, hid how bad their relationship was for the 2 years prior to this season. And so again, my gossip has been vindicated for the last few years, because there's been rumors coming out of London that he definitely has been seeing a woman. And I have no doubt if their relationship was that toxic and they weren't having sex and PK was gone most of the time, that there was some shenanigans going on, because, of course, most of his friend circle sort of act like that. So, for example, if they're not getting it home, they're getting it from somewhere. And I will remind all the women out there that no matter how good looking you are and or how great a catch you are, if a man is insecure and he needs to cheat to feel like a man, he's going to do it. It is just the way it goes, unless he's got an ethic that's so solid that he won't, or, which is hard to find, or he can't bear the idea of being without you, so won't risk it. Or he derives his confidence from somewhere other than his, looks and attractiveness to women. But that's not going to be guys driving Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Ferraris, Porsches, and those types of things. They need to feel like they are the center of the universe. Take it from me and my 100 girlfriends that married, dated, or got screwed over by them. Dorit spent time in Park City, Utah with her kids celebrating Christmas. PK didn't seem to be there, oddly. I saw some of the Salt Lake City women liking her posts, given the posts were awesome. They were of her daughter, Phoenix, actually performing ballet on full point for the Nutcracker. Fabulous job. The little girl really nailed it, and you could tell that she had worked so hard to get her hand motions and movements perfect, and her point was very, very great. I mean, it was very impressive. If Dorit didn't hate me so much, I would have written under the post, awesome, because it was awesome, and I wish they would show more of that on Housewives. Now, you have to remember, this has obviously got to do with the upcoming show. We're going to learn that Phoenix is, involved in the Nutcracker. We're going to see her practice ballet. So this is probably, although absolutely real, like she did, perform great work on the Nutcracker that Dorit showed on her page. It's also coming in time for season 14, episode 6, which will include some of this in the plot. Dorit's parents make an appearance on this week's show. They flew in to LA to help support Dorit with the kids and everything happening with PK. And we see a little of that. Here's a confessional where she begins to talk about it. And then you need to listen to what she says at lunch with Erica on the upcoming episode.
I felt like I didn't know how much longer I could hold up the walls on my own, and they came right to my rescue. Today was Phoenix's first 2 ballet shows. Erica, she was the lead.
Of course she was.
I mean, killing it.
To Phoenix's ballet.
Phoenix's ballet. So yeah, when it comes to the kids, and I've told you this a million times, and even though I'm so hurt and angry, and I can literally compartmentalize my feelings.
Good.
For my children.
For the moment, yeah.
You know what? And you just took the words out of my mouth. Monday, we're supposed to meet in therapy, and it's the first therapy we'll have together. And
since you haven't been talking.
Yes. I don't want to be spoken to a certain way. When I talk about PK and I getting toxic, he would speak to me in a very aggressive, disrespectful way. And I, in turn, would do the same.
If the server came over and we spoke to the server how we speak to each other, we'd be thrown out of this restaurant.
I don't want to live like that anymore.
God, I feel so lied to. Boy, they shoveled us so much shit last season and the season before. Thank God I was here to tell you guys what was really going on. Well, it's likely that Dorit was in New York to, who knows, maybe attend an after party with Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen in the Village because she was in that area. So it's possible that that's what she was doing. Speaking of Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen's New Year's Eve 2025 CNN special, the highlights were a little odd this year, and I can't believe they were actually highlights. Wasn't really that exciting from what I saw. I didn't watch it, but I went to look for like best moments of Andy and Anderson Cooper's 2025 New Year's Eve Live, and it was like, wah, wah. But because I'm me, I'm going to play a few of them for you so you can judge for yourself.
We got to talk Bravo. What's your takeaway on the current season of the Beverly Hills Housewives?
Is John Hamm a fan?
Yes.
Really?
Okay, I have some thoughts. Dorit is not doing it for me these days. I'm having some issues with her mentality and her issues. I've also, I got to pour one out for Craig and Paige. My goodness, end of an era.
So believe it or not, that's what everyone was saying was a highlight. John Hamm commenting on that. Now, I want to say that I think he was talking about the headspace she's had since the break-in and that maybe everything that PK does that's over the top isn't good enough. I think that's what he's referring to. I don't think he's referring to her being in all the drama and standing up for herself this season. He can't be. Otherwise, he doesn't watch the show. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
To roast the year. Let's hear it.
Okay. Feel free to heckle me. Feel free to come for me.
Never.
I do believe we need to hold 2024 accountable for its behavior. That is what white women do now. We point out other things that are toxic because we don't get irony. And that is our truth. This was the year that people were behaving so poorly, we started being wistful about murderers. Remember, this was the year where we were like, were the Menendez brothers so bad? Were we too hard on the Menendez brothers? This was the year we could not get enough of murderers. Gypsy Rose became our favorite celebrity because murdering your mom is so brat. They had her on a red carpet, a little on the nose for a murderer, but she was like posing in a fancy dress. We were like, slay, and she was like, I did. And of course, our heartthrob of the year was the alleged cold-blooded killer named Luigi, who is now in the same prison as Diddy, which I'm very upset about because Luigi already has a lower back issue. This was the year nothing made sense. Fertility was down, sales of baby oil was up, white supremacy groups reached record highs. It got so bad, Ariana Grande became white again. 2024 totally broke our brains. Half the people I know think we're in a simulation. I'm starting to wonder. When I go to a website and it asks me if I'm a robot or not, half the time I get the quiz wrong. I'm like, does the shadow of a bike count as a bike? I don't know. Why am I looking at a grainy photo of a crack house? We just all broke mentally this year. Things got so bleak, we started watching the WNBA. 2024 election fried our brains. The Democrats couldn't hold a primary because they were too busy holding a body upright. Are we still rolling? Am I off?
Go for it.
It was amazing that the pro-choice party didn't give their voters one when it came to the presidential candidate. Kamala was forced on us so hard you'd think she was patented by Pfizer or Moderna, whichever one's... Oh, God. Andy just gave me a very scary look.
No!
Let me be clear, though. 2024 was not only negative. The media wants us to believe this country is so divided, but we actually came together a lot this year. Like, as a nation, we unanimously agreed that we would rather see J-Lo in a toxic relationship than in concert. We all agreed the government totally knows what drones are and are telling us. The drones are still up there, and we have no idea what's behind them. No idea. I mean, they're still up in the sky, so I guess we can rule out that they were made by Boeing. The point is, I think we all agree on a lot of things. And since I only have a minute left live on establishment media, why don't we just say a bunch of things that we know that they'll never cover? Okay, ready, go. Trump Shooter didn't have any silverware in his house. No one thought that was weird. Are we still rolling? Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia put money into Disney, so just know there won't be any girl characters in the next Cars movie. Are we still rolling? This is wild. Why have so many presidents' chefs died? Weird. Boy Scout of America, they renamed itself Scouting America. You know who else changed their name? Sean Combs. Just saying. Let's learn something in 2025. I can't believe you guys are still letting me go. This is amazing. I love CNN.
Well, it was a little distracting because Anderson Cooper, I think by this point in the show, had had a few shots and he doesn't do well when he drinks. So he was hitting Andy Cohen in the head with his umbrella. Andy Cohen kept trying to move the umbrella off his head and it kept whacking him again. And I could tell she was like, oh my gosh. Whitney was like, am I going too far? How's Andy Cohen? Because he's obviously very Democrat, right? So anyway, it was what a roast, but you got to give it to her. She took some serious risks on that one. The funniest one for me in that group was her referring to the robot checker where you get the photos and you have to select like what it asks you to find, like find all the doors in these pictures, and everybody gets it wrong because they're so stupid. like it's not a door, it's like a sliding door in your patio, or I mean, they try to trick you by showing you like a rundown RV door. And I thought that was hilarious when she said, I just don't understand how to recognize crack houses. It's true, those photos do have crack houses in them. Anyway, dying to know your opinion on Whitney Cummings' roast 2024. Did you get upset by it? Did it piss you off? Did you love it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And then other than Anderson Cooper's weird facial expressions every time he did a shot, which why did they give him such shitty alcohol that he had to make those faces? I will never know. And of course, Diplo going on national TV on CNN, tripping on LSD a little, was also exciting, I guess. That was probably another highlight. But other than that, was this last highlight? This is it. This was all the highlights from the whole show. Roy Wood Jr., who refused a tequila shot because he said the last black man to drink on this network got fired. And he was talking about Don Lemon. Let me play you the clip.
A shot. Would you like me to start? Yes. Tequila.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
So,
No,
I don't. Keep talking.
I do. I got
the last black man to drink on this network got fired. I'm going to keep it with water for right now.
Are you live streaming on your Instagram? I love it. Wow.
Well, at least we found out that Andy Cohen is drinking, right? Because there was tea that came out that he was taking a break from drinking and partying, at least when some of these lawsuits came out. And it sounds like he's back drinking again, no problem, probably because they all pretty much went away except for Leah McSweeney's one. Now, he's done a partnership with Fresca Mixed, and I do believe that's what he was drinking at his New Year's Eve event, but they didn't let him show, I noticed, the branding. I don't know if he said it on the show, but he has definitely teamed up with a alcohol brand named Fresca, and he's promoting it alongside all the New Year's and holiday stuff that he did. It's a ready-to-drink cocktail line, and Andy says it's delicious and goes with just about anything. You're welcome, Andy. Well, my highlight, of course, was Africa getting its first countdown ever, which Real Housewives of Beverly Hills new cast member Bose was the host of for CNN. So she's in deep, very deep, you guys. Just saying. By the way, have you guys heard the gossip on this? One of the hosts of Shark Bait podcast said that they had friends in New York that heard that Paige a few months ago cheated on Craig Conover with a comedian influencer, and that maybe that was catching up to her, which is why she might have self-destructed the relationship, and that more is going to come out on the show as it's told to Greg Conover, and he starts to really understand what happened with this comedian guy that's an influencer. Now, me, frankly, I'm not buying that gossip, only for one reason. I love it, by the way. Ladies, I love your gossip. Okay, please know that. Very juicy. Certainly possible. I mean, what we do know for sure is that Paige definitely blindsided Craig. Why? Because at the beginning of December, Craig goes public and all of his media that he's here for the long haul with Paige. He wants to get married and have kids with her, that he's trying to change his drinking and partying ways to tone it down to prepare for this next stage in life. And he wants to do it with Paige, and they're going to do like a long kind of engagement, but then they are going to get married. And that's what is the plan. And then like 2 weeks later, Paige alone without Craig drops a statement saying it's over, and they just kind of like grew apart, different directions, you know, the usual hoopla. Now, she was spending a lot of time going back and forth between New York and Charleston. Some people blame that. Some influencers that really study this particular show said, listen, Paige DeSorbo did not want to have children. Craig did. I mean, it just came out that he froze his sperm for crying out loud, and it was maybe too overwhelming for Paige, and she just decided, let's end it. I think Adam heard and went on his social media and said that he felt that Paige ended it because she knew Craig was going to ask her to marry him. And so rather than go through the engagement, she decided to call it quits. Well, Paige responded to all these people's different theories. By the way, they thought the person that she cheated with that was the comedian was Marcello Hernandez from Saturday Night Live. Anyway, she said, see you in court, which is, I guess, something she says on her show with her partner, Hannah Berner. She also went out and said, crazy, all these different fans making up stories about what happened, and it's crazy. Anyway, the idea that she was with Marcello Hernandez is so absurd. Have you seen him? I can't. There's just no way. Okay, so let's take a step back so I can tell you what I think is going on here. So let's start from the very beginning. Paige DeSorbo, she's brought up in Londonville, New York, the daughter of Gary and Kimberly DeSorbo, and she is in a very conservative Italian Catholic family. Oh, I know what that's like because I grew up in New York and Connecticut. I had the very Catholic Italian family, but I also had the Irish family. Paige has a brother named Gary, too, by the way. She goes to high school at Academy of the Holy Names, which is in Albany, New York. It's an independent, middle state accredited Catholic girls' college prep school for girls 6 to 12 grades. And it's with the Catholic Diocese of Albany. Tuition at the school is about $17,500 per year. This is an all-girls Catholic school. They wear uniforms. It's very strict, but they're also it looks like a really great school. Now, I went to Nightingale Bamford, all-girls school, similar. It was not super Catholic, but there definitely was a component of it. Like we had some days we had to do some assembly halls where there was some religious tones to it, but not as much as next door, Sacred Heart, where it was predominant throughout the day in their regiment they were doing with their schoolwork, etc. She loves to be in front of the camera because her mom starts her modeling at the age of 5, and she seems to like it because she continues to do that till 2010. Like most kids in New York, she's modeling. This is not unusual. Every kid did back in the day. Even when I was in New York City, it was very unusual not to model, actually, at least for catalog work. Well, she gets the bug for it, and she lands a campaign with Limited 2, which is, yes, the Limiteds, but it's like the middle school version, and she does that job, and she really kind of sees the glamour of the modeling industry, and she's in this prep school where she's intermingling with loads of girls about fashion. Believe me, in the prep school scene, fashion is utmost, especially since you can't wear it to school. So you're always talking about it, whose Benetton sweaters best, etc. And so you can see sort of where Paige is sort of forming it. Also in a girls' school, the women take on all of the men roles. And so even in the plays. So women are taught to really go for their career and kind of create a name for themselves in their own right. And I'm assuming, like me, a lot of this impacted her. Now, she goes to College of St. Rose in Albany, and she chooses to stay home with her parents while she studies there to do broadcast journalism, meaning she not only wants to write stories and do them, but she wants to actually broadcast them on television. At least at this time, that's what she's looking to do. And she finally convinces her parents to let her move to New York City, and she lands a job as an assistant at ABC Unscripted, working for the vice president. Did you hear what I said? ABC Unscripted. This would be the division that would do any reality TV or that genre for ABC. Pay attention to that. For the full scoop, join the Dishing Drama Dana Patreon. The link is in this audio description. It's only $6 a month, and you'll get the best information and tea about the things you care about and even the things you don't know you care about. What are you waiting for?